Here are 15 of the best Ask Reddit stories for today. I hope you enjoy and remember to subscribe. It really helps us out. We post new videos every day.
What's the most hurtful thing you've overheard about yourself by accident? At a family reunion, my mother stated she was so happy when I moved out. It was my house and I was letting her live there for free after her divorce. Everyone I'd invited to my first sleepover laughing while reading my diary entries about how my dad had been using me. I'd left the room and one had gone snooping. It was worse when they wouldn't stop or give it back when I burst in and pleaded with them too. Then everyone laughed even harder. That was the first and last time I wrote anything real like that in a diary. When I was in middle school art class, something funny happened and I let out a loud laugh. I then overheard one of my childhood best friends whisper to another person, "God, I hate Trader 2488's laugh." I immediately looked at him and said, "What?" And he just looked down at the table like he didn't hear me. This actually made me change my laugh. It's completely different from what it used to be.
Saw her after 4 years. My girl left me one day after 5 years of relationship. She and a friend of mine disappeared from the map after that. I suspected what was happening, but I could not believe it. I told myself it had to be paranoia. My suspicions were confirmed 4 months later. 4 years went by, they are still together, and of course we have friends in common. One of said friends got married recently. I went to the wedding, they were there, she was there, avoiding me. When the time was right, I faced them both, saluted them politely and got to talking. I wasn't drunk or nervous. I know I am a good person. I know I didn't do anything wrong. I talked to her for some minutes while he watched from 10 feet away. I told her I wish her the best and that I hope her and her family are doing very well. She tried to apologize, but I told her there is no need to apologize for anything. I got drunk later and had a blast with my friends. When I got home, and I was safe and alone, I cried, let it all out by myself. Such a relief. I saw them. I faced them. I kept it together.
What's the strangest request you've had at McDonald's? I was behind this guy at McDonald's. There was a new girl at the register. He said, "I will have the bob." She looked at him and said, "What? Which number is that?" He said, "It's not a number, doll. It's a special." He told her to go get the manager. Manager comes up and says, "Oh, morning, Bob." She showed the girl the button that corresponded to the bob. His meal was $13. It included 6 slices of bacon, 2 sausage patties under 2 biscuits and gravy, 2 pancakes, a hash brown, a chocolate chip cookie, apple pie and a coffee. He ordered this every morning. Also, if Bob missed breakfast, one of the managers would call and check on him, because in 10 years he had missed breakfast about 10 times. I heard about 2 years later they called. He didn't answer. Bob had had a stroke and had died, but his special still exists. People still order it.
I just wanted to share a story from my childhood. It felt almost biblical to me, no offense, just the feeling, and it is the reason I believe in miracles. So when I was a baby, me and my parents went to a relative's village. When we arrived there, they left me in our car with a slightly open window until they are sure the home is okay to put our stuff in. Just while they are inside the house, a big snake climbed up on our car and slid towards the open window from the ceiling. Left back window where I was sitting next to the car while I was sleeping peacefully. Just the moment the snake noticed me and entered its head through the slightly open window, the young cat charged towards it and attacked it at the mid-air. They lost their balance and fell to floor. Then they continued to fight towards the little barn next to the house. After a little while, camera shows that cat left the barn with the snake's head in its mouth with blood all over it, nearly make the cat seem crimson. Nobody in the village ever saw that cat again.
What is the best revenge someone did to a customer for disrespecting a waiter? I waited tables way back in the day at a barbecue restaurant. One night I was witness a table with 4 couples that were drinking and one guy was being rather obnoxious. For those that have waited tables, they know that a tray of drinks is a balancing act. When you serve the drinks, you're careful to not spill them while removing them. The first drinks I brought, as I lowered the tray to serve the drinks, this guy reached in and grabbed his drink. Luckily I recovered. I told him to please not to do that as I almost spoiled the other drinks. He just laughed. Second round of drinks he did the same thing. Again I saved the drinks and warned him again and again, the asshole laughed. Third tray of drinks. I lower the tray to serve the drinks. Mr. Obnoxious reaches in and grabs his drink. This time I made zero attempt to recover and in all honesty just dumped the other 7 drinks in his lap. I made it look like I tried to save them but couldn't. Yes, he was pissed but his friends just laughed and told him that I'd warned him multiple times. Luck for me, his table mates covered my tip. Today I'll have to tell my son his new girlfriend's child might be mine. There was no cheating involved whatsoever. I'd never do that to my own son. He's only been seeing her for about 4 months from what he's told me, but she and I dated 2 years ago. But it ended because I was going to be traveling out of work for months. We just lost contact. She has a 1.5-year-old son that is very likely my child. My son told me the father isn't involved but hasn't given him any other details other than it's just her raising the kid. I was the one to connected the dots as soon as I realized it was her. You can't imagine how unbelievably awkward the first time meeting was. Thankfully it was with other family members around, but she was just as freaked out as I was. This can't be kept a secret though. If this is my child, I need to know. And as much as it pains me to put my son in this messed up position, he needs to know too. He's coming over later on so we could talk. I'm beyond nervous. I really don't even know where to start explaining something like this to him.
Your scariest camping experience. Went camping in deep Appalachia in a tent. Woke up to a weird feeling that I was laying on something. Then I felt it move. A snake had made its way under my tent and I think it was trying to get warm as it stopped moving right under where my back was. After me moving a bit, it finally went on its merry way. I'll never forget how it felt moving underneath me. 10 years ago I went camping for a weekend. Went out hiking the morning of the second day and pretty soon found ourselves off trail on a pretty steep incline along the Menashe River. We were about 100 feet up the incline. Suddenly one of my friends lost his footing and started to slide. On the way down he took out my other friend and I watched them hit every rock and tree on the way down to the rapids. I climbed down to find my one friend dead on the side of the river, and the other taken away by the river. His body was found 2 weeks later 2 kilometers from where they fell in. His body, or whatever is left of it, is still in the river because when search and rescue tried to remove it from the logjam it was stuck in, the boulders on the riverbank came loose and collapsed on top of his corpse. This was a very abbreviated version of the story, but overall a very scary day.
During a very dark period, what was the best thing you ever did for your mental health? I got a one-eyed cat named Spoon. He's my best friend. Quit my job. As soon as I put in my notice I started feeling better. Started regularly exercising. The gym became my safe place where I could turn off my destructive thoughts for a bit, and making exercise a habit greatly boosted my sense of self-worth. See a professional counselor. I cannot stress how much that helped. What should I do for my 21st birthday that does not include partying/drinking? Give me your most random and wildest ideas. Go on a trip to somewhere you've always wanted to go. Explore. Go to your favorite restaurant and give yourself a delicious meal. Set up a 401k. Skydive. What actor can you not stand? Jared Leto. Never liked him. Not looking forward to him in Haunted Mansion. Ezra Miller. Ellen DeGeneres. James Corden. The answer to this question is always Jared Leto. What's a belief of yours that most don't agree with? It's okay to be single for your entire life and not have kids. Not everyone needs or is suitable for marriage. Not every married couple has to become or is worthy of being parents. That most things in life don't actually matter. What would happen if everyone over 70 died tomorrow? Butterscotch stocks would plummet. Layoffs at retirement centers. Mass graves for millions of corpses that would be decaying in homes and streets with no capacity for coroners and cemeteries to take them fast enough. All the 69-year-olds would get really nervous. What industry do you hope won't exist in 10 years? MLM/pyramid schemes, telemarketers, the concert ticket mafia, Ticketmaster, StubHub, Live Nation, F them. Anything involving cold calling or massive phone call farms pimping random stuff. Oncology. This day is not just for women. What do men want for Valentine's Day? My girlfriend and I are going to dress in our nicest clothes and have a table reserved at White Castle. They go all out for Valentine's Day with tablecloths and silverware. It's goofy and silly, and that's the point. I'm glad I've found someone I can be silly with and who just likes being together. Split a joint and eat delicious food all night. Then watch something nostalgic and funny where we both pass out and sleep the whole night uninterrupted by children. A text back would be a nice gift. What ingredient ruins a sandwich for you? Warm wet lettuce on hot sandwiches. Mealy tomatoes. A piece of lettuce that's a little too brown. Soft, sheep bread that gets soggy with the slightest bit of moisture. This is the one thing that will make me reject a sandwich with revulsion. Soggy, not fresh tomato. Looking at you, Subway. What screams this person peaked in high school to you? Hey girl, hey, do you want to be your own boss babe while working from home? And it's just a pyramid scheme. Still acting like a typical mean girl when they're damn near or past 30. Bragging about high school hookups in their 30s. My ex-stepmother constantly bragged about being a cheerleader in high school and winning a beauty walk in a town of like 500 people. She was still bragging about these the last time I saw her. She was in her mid-40s.